Yeah, we went through how you should generally write emails. And now I just want to go through some of the tips on communicating by emails. There are some of the common mistakes that people, not only supers, but just people in general, a lot of people. So,
As I'm looking at this, I totally see everyday people doing this. I
yeah,
see
yeah,
people of all walks of life,
right.
all levels of career, meaning
Yeah.
up to the executive. Everyone can make
Yeah,
these
anyone.
mistakes. And the funny
Contractors.
thing is that every time they make the mistake, somebody points it out later. They always say, "Oh my God, did you see what you wrote?"
That's so true.
And usually they'll point out only the bad stuff. And then when they point out the bad stuff, it does lead to like people snickering and laughing. But seriously, what it does is it does if you do this over and over, it eventually diminishes your professionalism.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
takes away from
mistakes
it.
are okay. I mean, people
Mistakes are
do
okay.
make mistakes, but it's good. It's good to know. Good to know how to be proper and how to write properly.
Right.
Yeah,
I think yeah, absolutely. So can we go down the list?
yeah. Let's go down the list. Um, should I start with the first one?
Yeah, and if you can explain that, because I wasn't exactly getting how this could be a tip.
Yeah, so first of all, I guess this could be a little bit more advanced tip. Like choose your voice, casual or professional.
Uh-huh.
So, so you got to think of the audience who's looking at your email. Is it a manager that you first met today? You've never met, and you're submitting your resume versus a resident who you've known for like 20 years.
Okay.
So you can choose your language to be casual or professional. So if you choose to be casual, you would probably say, you can actually open up the email by saying, "Oh, hi, John," or "Good morning, John," like
Okay.
that. And
But you mean still following your
yeah, still follow
the rules before
Yes, those four.
the greeting and
Yeah,
the
the four
introduction.
parts.
Okay.
Yeah, introduction, and like I would use thanks rather than thank you if you're in a casual relationship.
Right.
Yeah, and if you're a professional, I would choose sincerely and best wishes.
Right.
So you can like you should think about those things. Yeah, and the second one would be, yes, the main subject line, the main subject. So it should be clear, must be clear. So the title of the email, right?
Can you tell us what the main subject line is?
It's when you compose an email, there's the first thing you have to write in is the recipient, and then I think there's CC, BCC, and then there's a title line, right?
Right.
So it's that title line. Just first of all, you should write something on it.
Right.
Don't send an email untitled.
Right.
But anything that has to do with the main point of your email.
Right.
But you should include some of the essential information. Let's say you're sending a resume, then just don't say resume. Resume for building what. Or resume your name, or for building super or part-time super position.
Right.
So anything that kind of sums up your email,
Yeah.
you should put on your title.
So you're saying, what, just to, I didn't, I didn't understand clearly. You were saying for a resume, you would, don't just put resume.
Yeah.
You would put resume for
For what position?
James Park, or okay, I see what you're saying.
For what position or which building, because they might be getting
A lot of resumes.
resumes for a lot of buildings.
So you want to, your goal is to put as much information down as possible to be distinct from other emails,
Right.
different from other emails, so it could stand out, and also maybe so you can find it later. You can find it later if you're,
Yeah, I can find it later.
or he can find it later.
He can find it later.
Right.
And also, there's so many spam emails, like junk emails,
Right.
advertisement these days.
Right.
So people just skip through emails
Okay.
very easily.
Yep.
So
I'm
titles are
guilty.
important if you want to be heard, because people are going to think, oh, I thought it was advertisement. Oh,
So it's kind of like when you put in a resume, it's like having a stack of resumes for the person to go through, the person who's hiring to go through, and it's like putting a really bright neon color on your cover letter, so
Oh,
it stands
yeah.
out, right?
yeah. And also, if it's important message, like what could it be?
Water shutdown.
Water shutdowns or
So you say
scheduling repairs.
Water shutdown for Wednesday, April 3rd,
Yeah,
2021.
yeah.
Okay.
Or if it's really important, say important notice from your super.
Okay.
Well, that kind of sounds like advertisement, but or if you don't want to sound like an advertisement, just put the building number or
Okay.
important notice for 1001 Broadway.
Right, right.
Well, I hope that's not a real building, but
But
I'm just making this up.
But your goal is that, well, anything that you put there, that line should be used to stand your email out
Yes,
from all of the other emails, and including your own emails from the past.
yes.
Okay.
So think about that when you're writing the main subject.
Got it.
Yeah, and then third, I kind of mentioned this, and that just don't jump right into what you want to talk about. Emails need to be polite too.
Right.
So I mentioned there's a proper way to open up the conversation. Actually that's like three part. Is it
Okay.
3-part structure?
Well, you said the greeting. No, I think you could say four, because
4?
you can't do without any of the parts.
Yeah, like these
Yeah, in
structures
your-
are very important.
Right. The only thing I was going to say that you may be missing here is the body of it.
Yeah, the body could be anything, so that's why I
Okay.
didn't.
I see what you're saying. The body could be, the body of the email is the main part that has the information that you're trying to send.
Right.
Whether it's short, like, I'm going to go check that out,
Yeah.
or if it's something like a report, the
Yeah.
water leak came from this apartment and this apartment and this apartment.
Right.
Right. So, okay. So technically, the parts that you're saying that they need to add is, or they need to have at all times, is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 parts
Yeah.
plus the content.
Yeah.
Okay.
And remember to press the enter key
Right.
after good morning or all these 4 structures, right?
Right. So
most of them.
so you're also saying to spread them out, like
Yes, spread them out.
separate those parts into
Exactly.
different parts of the email.
Not in one line.
Right.
Or, I mean, you can do separate lines, but just having space looks better. So I'll write some sample emails
Right.
down there, down in the document, so that it's clear what I'm talking about.
Right.
So just refer to the document,
Okay.
and I'll try to make it easy so that people, you guys can copy and paste.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try my best. It might be hard, but I'll do my best.
We
Yes.
have faith.
Pressure. Okay, the next one would be checking your grammar and spelling and not using all caps. Oh my god, if someone uses all caps,
Yeah.
it sounds like someone's screaming at me.
Yeah, it does. It sounds very rude.
Yeah,
And-
it
and
sounds rude. It's like,
I think everyone's like turn that volume down. It's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny how words can make you feel like volume's on too high.
I know exactly. Like, so don't do that. You will sound really angry.
Yeah.
And I know it might be something that you want to, not exaggerate, but you want to say.
Oh, in that case, that's interesting. I actually do use all caps sometimes.
Sometimes it's really important.
Yeah, when I want to say I need to see the whole part or I need to see the whole thing, I'll emphasize it by saying capital WHOL. You know, like I'll put that in all caps so that people see like I need to see the whole thing. So it's the same thing as like I use for underlining or using bold.
Yeah, italic. Do you say italic?
Italics is
Yeah.
The slant.
But don't abuse those. If it's so important, like do not use.
So
words.
what you're saying, this is a great point, but you're saying do not use all caps for the whole email.
For the whole email, like
If you
good morning, like
Yeah.
all caps, like don't do that.
Right. Only use it for parts of the email that you want people to see.
Yeah.
And it's important. Like it's
Yeah,
super critical.
So critical.
Right. Okay.
Because like for example, let's say there's gonna be a change in drain pipes, right?
Right.
Drain pipes, and like someone should not use the toilet then.
Okay. Right.
Like, do not use your toilet.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's actually pretty serious and it's disgusting. So
It's
that's
disgusting.
right.
Yeah.
And it could be dangerous considering it's
Of course.
so you do want to emphasize do not use toilets in all
Yeah.
caps, and I think that is forgivable.
Yeah, that's very
Right.
forgivable.
But not like, John, how are you? And you're like, how are you? And you're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like if you want to, if you really have to deliver that message, maybe sometimes you can use colors.
Okay.
But my general advice is not to use colors
Okay.
in the emails.
Right.
Like for example, you can use, let's say, a blue color when there are like 10 paragraphs of questions that you have to answer.
Gotcha.
I'll try to put. I don't know if I can put that in the example below, but just try to avoid from the colors.
Okay.
Try to avoid from the colors and all caps. And I know this might be tricky. It might be a little difficult to for some people, but checking grammar and spelling.
Oh, that's huge.
Thankfully, Google, if you're using Gmail or other emails, I think as well.
Spell check
Yeah, they will.
and grammar check.
Yeah, they will offer that. They will tell you if something's wrong.
Right.
Unless you're on your phone, I think phones could.
Oh, they do.
differ.
Actually,
Oh,
I
there's
think
autocorrect.
I think there is on your phone, so you can actually do it. I think it's wherever you use it.
I see.
Gmail, but Gmail definitely
Definitely has
and
that.
it has this predictive writing where it can predict what you're trying to write and it'll write it for you, or at
Yeah.
least give you the idea.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For the blue lines, that's the grammar, right? Something grammatically, it's
Right, the red line is spell check.
yeah, something's wrong. So, again, if English is not your first language, or you're just there are people who are just grammar is not their strongest point,
Right.
it might be difficult, but just at least check for those notifications, those
Yeah.
red lines and blue lines,
Yeah.
and if you see them, correct them.
Right. Right. And what's great about that,
They give you suggestions.
they give you suggestions, and it even helps you. I think it even tells you when you're doing a run-on sentence too.
Right.
Like all of the things, like grammar, spelling, run-on sentence, all of those things are things that would frustrate the reader.
Right.
All those things that would make the reader frustrated and not want to keep on reading.
Right. And people would judge you.
Yeah,
People
I
will
mean,
judge
worse.
you.
Yeah, that's just as bad because it knocks your, it knocks down your value, your credibility or
Yeah.
reputation, which can impact how much money you can make.
Or and you can always proofread before you send an email. Just skim through.
Right,
Um, it doesn't take long,
right, right.
so just double check,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then send it,
Right,
and make sure you have the right recipient.
right, right.
Yeah. Sometimes Gmail just autocorrects everything, just it autofills everything. So you might not be sending the email to the right person. So check
Oh,
that too.
yeah. I mean, I would say the
careful.
same thing with text, and
Yeah.
especially when you're, texting something that is not nice
Oh,
to
yeah.
someone
Be
who you're talking about.
careful.
I've never done that, or I haven't. I mean, I think everyone's done that. Probably did that a long time ago, but I've seen people do that recently, and I'm like, ooh.
Oh yeah. Oh, my god.
Yeah, and it's
Oh my God.
yeah. So in the emails too, I guess you do have the possibility that you could send something off to the wrong person.
Yeah.
You could even, I mean, we're not even talking about offensive stuff. I'm talking about like when for instance, if you're, trying to get access into an apartment and you're emailing the building manager and you're saying, shareholder X, I'm trying to get into his apartment, but he's being difficult, and I've asked 6 times, but he's starting to get what do you call that? He's starting to get upset, and I think you will need to step in because he's being difficult, and you send it off to him by mistake.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's gonna be like,
no.
difficult.
Yeah.
He's gonna read that as a complete insult. So
Those things
Yeah.
I recommend just call the manager.
oh, that's a good point. I
Like,
mean,
don't ever write anything.
Right.
That if you think if you're the other person, you'll get offended, and you can't.
that's a good gauge.
Don't
Right.
say anything that just you would say on someone's behind.
Right. So don't say anything that you wouldn't say in their face. In other
Yeah.
words,
And
So-
don't write it. Just period. Just don't write anything.
right?
Like
Yeah, I
that.
think that's a whole different lesson. But I think in this one where we're talking about emails, you want to be very careful, or texting, since we're talking about written communication. Don't
Yeah.
if you are going to write something that is critical and you have to do it, just watch who you send it to. Double check your recipient.
Yeah, double check, triple check. And next one, I guess it kind of follows. Never forward or copy someone's email unless you have the approval.
Oh, that's different, because if you write, "Hey, he's being difficult," and you're
Well, that's something different.
and then
but
I forward your email to him
Yeah.
by accident, then that's bad.
Yeah. So the reason why this could be problematic is because of private information.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, personal information.
Yep.
And you might have seen in a lot of cases, some companies have disclaimers.
Right.
Yeah, this conversation is only between
Right.
these correspondents, and yeah, there could be sensitive information, especially when you're talking about someone as inside someone's apartment. or or something, or you're dealing with different customers at the same time.
Right.
Oh, he said that, she said that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like rumors, gossips going on in the background.
Yeah, and
And
then
then,
you forward, see, he said that. Like, don't.
well, I wouldn't say even purposefully.
Yeah.
I would say sometimes you forward it. I won't mention, I'm not gonna mention the building but it just happened recently where a shareholder got an email about a bill that the shareholder was supposed to pay. But the property manager sent that email to her, having attached the whole discussion behind the scenes
Oh, no.
about her.
Oh no.
And some of those people did not like her. So, you had all that gossip that just landed on her in her email box, and she
Yeah.
was upset.
Of course.
And I think the takeaway of this was that she just said, "This is very unprofessional."
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
it took away. So basically, it hurt everybody. It hurt the property manager that sent it, the assistant property manager, that sent her senior property manager's email. So it made both of them look bad.
Mhm.
And then it pulled in some shareholders or people on the board that were sharing that unpleasant information. So everyone got really hit by that. And so, which kind of brings into your lesson, which is don't write anything negative in an email, because that shareholder or that talk behind the scenes about that person now ended up in her email box, and now she knows what the other people think about that.
Oh my god.
And then the property manager who forwarded that looked unprofessional.
Yeah.
And I would
that's
say
really
if you're
bad.
caught in that email though, and this is maybe slightly more advanced, but if you're caught in an email thread where someone is talking negatively, try to quell that, try to neutralize that,
Yeah.
and to say, "Oh, she's not here. Let's move on," or something
Right.
like that, or let's focus on the issue, because if you're quiet, it ends up sounding like you're
With them.
with them.
Yeah.
So it's better if you just say like, let's get back on the subject, guys. Let's talk about,
Right.
and but anyway, we get it. I think that forwarding thing is a huge thing. You know why people do it though? People forward emails because it's easier. It's a
Yeah.
laziness. Like I do it because I'm lazy. I'm just like, okay, this person has information that this person wants. I'm just going to forward it.
Yeah. Just
But
see below. Like, no,
right,
don't do
see
that.
below, see, see below, like all the history trail of like all the people involved. Yeah, you wanna close that door when you're writing that email. Instead of seeing below, what I do is I just paraphrase it. I start a new email fresh, and then I paraphrase it.
Yeah.
It takes more work, but it's worth it.
Yeah. And if you forward all of those, I mean, it's gonna take a long time for the for the person to read it
Yeah.
too, and
Oh yeah, that's true too.
yeah. So you want to be clear about what you're trying to say.
Right.
So, I mean, there are some cases when you can forward the email when someone says, "Could you please forward this to this?"
Oh yeah, absolutely.
guy.
Look, there's a reason why forwarding is there.
Yeah.
Forwarding exists because there's a function to it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I feel like, when, for instance, yeah, a building manager would say, "Could you please forward this notice
right,
from the board to all the residents?"
right.
Then you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still, even then, I scrub through the email.
Yeah.
Scrubbing just means I look really quickly into the email
Mhm.
thread just to see if there's anything
Just
there
in
that's
case.
sensitive.
Yeah.
But I would say as a resident manager, I mean the beginning of this podcast or the beginning of this episode may have been more for newbies, like for
So,
part-time supers who are not familiar with writing emails,
mhm.
but resident managers are,
Mhm.
and most higher level superintendents are versed in that. So
Right.
this is this is maybe a great list for the rest of us who are,
Yeah.
you know,
For
familiar with
everyone,
writing emails.
I would say.
Yeah, yeah, but good for me too. I mean, I need this refresher once in a while.
Yeah, it's a reminder.
Right.
Reminder. And the next one, we kind of talked about this, never write an angry email.
I think, but it's okay that you write it twice because there's plenty of times that I've written an email and then, but I stop, right? I don't send it.
Yeah.
And then I wait and I go, calm down, walk
Exactly.
away, and then
Exactly.
come back. And then when you're, or get someone else to read it and to say, hey, look, am I being too rough or too much, am I being mean? Am I being not nice? And then I get that feedback, yeah, you should take that out.
Yeah.
And then you take it out and you send it.
So whenever you're emotional,
Yeah.
especially when you're angry, just get away from your laptop or your phone. Don't write anything.
Drunk emailing.
Oh my god, that's the worst. And like you can't even spell check.
A super I know did drunk emailing. He got so pissed. He drank a lot, and I remember, but he blasted it to all the board members.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as he was like really drunk, and the next day his only remorse was, what did he say? I shouldn't have included this person.
Oh no.
And you're like, how about the rest of it?
Oh yeah, so be careful.
Yeah.
Really be careful. Yeah, just if you're drunk, just take your phone away from you. Like put it somewhere else.
Yeah. There are a few times that I actually wrote angry emails and I sent it.
Yeah.
And every time that I did that, there was a negative consequence. There
Of
was
course
something
it
that
can't be
happened where,
good.
yeah, where if I can go back now, I would do it all over again the right way.
I know, even if you're right and that person's so wrong, just 100%, like 200% wrong, get your hands off.
Right.
Get your hands off that computer. Don't write anything.
Do you know what my my rule of thumb is? If you're gonna send something off, if after you're emotional and you're upset, and if you read your email that you're gonna send off, you're about to send off, you're about to press send, and it makes you feel good, don't send it.
Oh my god, that's so true.
So if anything that just makes you feel good, usually means that you've said something to make the other, what do you call it? You said something in an angry voice, and you feel good because you let it off your chest.
Yeah.
But the problem is that it may be off your chest, but you've just shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it just feels horrible. It's like especially if someone's blaming you for something.
Oh yeah, hey, that's being a target.
Yeah,
is-
being targeted, I just can't handle it.
Oh yeah, it's
No.
very upsetting.
But that's the first step to, I guess, first step is, there are a lot of first steps to becoming professional.
Yeah.
Just keep your emotions off.
Well, yeah. If someone's writing to you emotionally, don't answer back. Don't answer back right away.
Mm-hmm.
Let the other person calm down.
Mm-hmm.
If you write back, most likely your answers are going to be messed up, or all screwed up in the eyes of the person that's upset.
Yeah, especially
They're gonna interpret
when,
it.
when there are other people looking at this email. Usually people are going to see the angry person's email very negatively.
They might see the angry person's email first.
Yeah.
Because it stands out.
People are going to be just reading that angry email, and maybe some people might think that person is right, but as time goes by, why is he so angry? Like, why is he being so rude? Anything that's rude or mean, even if it's true, it's not good.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that it's better not to combat another person's angry email with another angry email.
Exactly.
And I think I think that could be true. I don't know how to think about what other board members will think if you don't write back. Part of me now it still says, oh, someone's angry, right? You should write back. But what I was saying was sometimes you have an impulse.
Exactly. That's what I'm also saying.
Right, right.
Like, don't respond right away. Give it maybe an hour.
Right, or longer.
Yeah, longer, like
Yeah.
3 hours, or even like 12 hours.
Right. So you're saying give it that time so that it gives the other time the other person a chance to cool down so that when you write back, they won't be as angry. Because when they're angry, they could see your email in a different way. Sometimes even if you write back in a way that you think is harmless, that person can interpret it in an angry mode
Yeah.
as something that's insulting or offensive.
Yeah.
And then now you have two things to to defend yourself with. So it's better just not to add to that. Let that other person cool down,
Right.
and then get to them. But also, there's a benefit to that because in a professional correspondence where you have multiple people on that email, the person that is sending that angry response in any setting, that can be construed as unprofessional.
Mm-hmm.
And you not responding can seem professional
Right.
rather than you responding right away and then inadvertently, unintentionally making it worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is something a little bit more technical.
Okay.
So be careful with some of these phrases, which is ASAP, received, will do, confirmed, and some of these special symbols. Like
A smiley
slash.
face over there.
Oh yeah, the smiley face.
Wait,
I mean,
how come you banned smiley faces from emails?
well, I'm not banning it, but just be careful with these.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're saying each of these.
Use
Okay,
with
let's go
caution.
through it. Why Why not? Why ASAP? ASAP. Oh, I hate ASAP, by the way, too.
Yeah, ASAP. I mean, first of all, I try not to use ASAP. I try to avoid ASAP.
Yeah.
When it comes to my work, also, if I say I'll do it ASAP or please do it ASAP, I try not to use both of them as soon as possible.
Okay.
So, first of all, if I say it to someone else, could you please do it ASAP? Well, it sounds kind of rude.
Yeah, it
So,
sounds if someone said ASAP to me, I'd be like, "Wow, what am I?
I'm not your servant.
Am I your puppet? Yeah, or your
Yeah.
servant?" But what if you really needed them to do something right away?
You would say, could you please
Handle this right away.
Yeah, handle this right away.
Wouldn't this be same thing as immediately? Do it immediately. No, but you're right. ASAP is worse than.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ASAP is worse than immediately.
Also, ASAP is all capital, so it kind of goes with your all caps
Yeah,
thing of yelling.
right. So, could you please look into this because this is an urgent matter.
Oh, okay.
You can say that. This has to be taken care of right away.
Right, right.
Something like that. Could
Yeah.
you please respond? Or just give them a time.
Right, right.
Could you please let me know by end of today?
Oh, that's nice. Can you spell it out, like to say, can you take care of it as soon as possible?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, as soon as possible. I think that.
Although it's very vague. When is possible?
I know when you're available.
2 years will be when it's possible for me.
At your earliest convenience.
Right, right. At your earliest convenience.
I
Well,
know.
things are inconvenient until next 2022.
But I mean, those are. I know it doesn't make sense, but it's a proper. It's a polite way of saying. Could you
Right.
please do this right away?
Yeah, I know. I think that's the truth. So received will do. I have to admit that I don't like these in a professional setting, although I have to say I've used them in a casual setting a lot.
Yeah.
If someone says, James, get your, please remove your, things from my table, I'll text back, will do.
Yeah, exactly. So in a text setting, because it's so very, very quick,
Oh,
right?
okay, right,
I
right.
think it makes sense.
Yeah,
But I like to use I received it, just a sentence.
okay.
If I get an email from a manager, did you get this? And
Yeah,
just say, hi, hi Rachel. Yes,
yes, I received it.
yes, I received it.
So I can
And
use,
thank you.
I can use I will do so. Yes, I will do so.
I mean, I think you can, but I try to be super clear about
Okay,
what I'm doing. Do so,
gotcha.
do what.
Okay,
Or in case I am misunderstanding the other person,
right.
can you, let's say a manager emails me, can you send this to 2B?
Right.
Then I say, will do. So do I send it to the resident or the sheriff on there?
Right,
No.
right, right. You're
If I'm
right,
not-
you're right. I
yeah.
think that's one of the reasons why I never really like will do too. And I use that too.
Yeah, exactly.
but
Because
it's-
it can be vague.
Yeah, it's very vague.
Like,
Uh,
you,
you-
email?
Yeah, you're not really sure if they understood you,
Yeah.
whether they know what they will do.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're left to a sleepless night of wondering whether those two words
Yeah.
are gonna mean happiness for you or sadness, frustration. So yeah, I agree with you. If the point of communication, especially emails, is to be clear as possible,
Exactly.
then will do is a terrible response.
I mean, there are some times it's just, it's so clear that will do is a yes. I mean,
Oh
it's,
yeah, that's good too. See, now I'm back in favor with a will do. Now I like will do.
Yeah,
It actually beats a yes.
yeah. It's like it's confirmed can be yes as well.
In fact, it
right?
sounds nicer than a yes.
Yeah,
And confirmed too.
yeah. So I think so that's why I said use it carefully.
Ah, I see. So
Yeah.
in other words, if it's so clear that a 9-year-old can't
Yeah.
make a mistake, then will do, confirm, received works.
Yeah,
If there's more to it though,
yeah. Or you're not sure about it.
or you're not sure, or especially if you're not sure about it,
Yeah,
but even if if you think that there's any possibility or potential for it to be
Yeah.
mistaken, then you should write it out.
yes.
Okay. I like that.
Hmm. Especially, I think when it comes to time or scheduling as well.
Right,
Can you do this next Friday?
right.
Will do. But is it the 1st or is it the 8th
Right, right,
Saturday?
right.
So when it comes to time and schedule,
Right.
I say I will do it. Yes, I will do it at blah 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 blah.
Okay,
And if I'm wrong, the manager is gonna tell me, oh, it's actually this Friday or this Saturday or something
right,
like
right,
that.
right.
So just try to be clear on
Okay.
that. And all these special symbols, slash and dot dot dot, exclamation point, smiley face.
Is that also like because it's not clear enough?
I mean, the slash and could be it is clear, but just know that slash means or. It doesn't mean and or.
Okay,
It only
gotcha.
means or.
Unless you put and.
Exactly.
Okay.
And slash means and or.
Okay,
The slash only means or.
okay. And the and.
And is and, but just type and.
Well, this goes into the other thing. Is it better to write I will not or I won't.
So I also want to talk about that. Thanks for pointing that out. If you are super formal, it's better to use will not.
Will not. Okay.
Yeah. Or do not.
Instead
Or-
of don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, as I say it out loud, do not is a much more like professional way or a more formal way to say don't. When you say
Exactly.
don't, I kind of feel like it's a little bit casual, you know?
Yeah, and also if you want to really say like don't do it, say do not.
Right.
Please do not
Yeah,
throw out the garbage.
it's a
at all.
polite, formal way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I totally see that.
yeah. And maybe I should have included some of the phrases.
Don't's actually a good one.
Yeah.
Do not, don't, because they're both negative.
Yeah.
And you're stopping someone from doing something.
Yeah, exactly. So in an email, when you have to say something very negative,
Yeah,
like, oh, can you do this? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
right.
There's some of the phrases that you can say reject nicely, in a nicer way.
Right.
Like you can say, I'm afraid I will not be available at these times.
Right, right.
Rather than saying I can't do it at that time.
Right. Or no can do.
Yeah, no, can't do. Oh my God, that's the worst.
Or even unfortunately, right?
Yeah,
I kinda have a
unfortunately, yeah.
negative. It kind of has a heavy negative.
Yeah, but it's better than saying I can't do.
Okay. Okay. Instead of saying I can't do it, just say unfortunately I won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I will not be able to do it.
Yeah, but I guess that's a little more advanced. But all these abbreviations, these special symbols, you have to be careful.
Okay. And you're saying in general don't use abbreviated words, spell out the words or
Yeah, spell out the words, and dot 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 is just dot 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 is.
yeah, oh dot dot dot. What does so you can't use dot 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 because it's just not clear.
It's just not clear, and like it's becoming more like a personal letter.
Yeah, kind of like a diary. Dear diary, I don't know what John wanted from me. Dot dot dot. Right. So
Yeah,
okay.
it's like there's gonna be a water shut off today. Dot dot dot.
Oh yeah, there is actually a person I know that that uses dot 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 like that,
Yeah,
and it was a little frustrating for me to read because I wasn't sure what he was saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of to me, it's kind of like this, you know, when you're driving, and on the highway, and someone has their blinker on, but they're not changing lanes.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, can I go past them? Are they gonna come into my lane? Like, can I just like, but they're really slow. Can I just blow past them? Will I confuse them? And I
all
think
these thoughts.
all these thoughts, and
Extreme
that's the
thought.
and that's a confusion that writing causes. It's kind of like we're all driving on this super highway of information, this highway of communication, and we're all trying to communicate. We're all cars communicating to each other, and anytime you use the wrong thing like dot 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 at the wrong place or all caps, you may not be angry, but you sound like it.
Right.
Those are wrong blinkers in the car.
Yeah,
You're using the wrong signals in the car so that a person that's driving around you or driving with you, they can't figure out what you're doing next.
Yeah, exactly. And there is exclamation point and smiley face. I mean, you can use them, but I would say only in very casual settings.
Okay.
Because all dot 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 and these symbols, they're more emotional, right?
Right.
They express emotions. So people think of these very differently. And people
Yeah.
use them very differently.
Yeah, I agree.
And unless you are very familiar with that person, you guys know each other very, very well, try to keep these out from a professional email.
Right.
I mean, when you want to say Merry Christmas, smiley face, I guess that's okay. Yeah.
Right.
But no, some people take things very differently. So
I would say you're absolutely right. I think in a professional setting, never use this,
Yeah, I would.
especially to someone who you don't know, someone that you don't know how they will react to your
Yeah.
smiley face.
Yeah, I mean, unless that person, the other person, uses a lot of smiley faces.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, I think I know what you're saying, but then again, that I think it's even if they use smiley face, probably better not to use it,
Right.
right?
Okay, and then there's keep on writing in the email, the same email threads.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, that I don't mind that so much, even, but I do mind it when it becomes like 78 emails.
Right.
I do actually have some that's like in
Yeah.
the high up there, but I don't like it when somebody writes about something else completely different than the subject line
Mm-hmm.
because it's convenient for them. And next thing you know, all of a sudden you have two different branches of discussions going on in the same thread.
Oh yeah, and if that person shares the email, copy someone else in the
Yeah.
email thread,
Yeah,
it gets even more
it
complicated.
gets even more common. Yeah, I really think if you're talking about a water shutdown, and then you want to talk about the building's Christmas decorations, do not put it in the same thread.
Yeah.
Make a new thread, email thread, start a fresh one, even if you have 20 people copied on there, recopy those 20 people on,
Yeah.
and then send that email so that in the future you can always find the right email. And when someone says no, someone that hasn't taken your class on email writing, and they write back, no, I won't. You won't know whether it's about the Christmas decorations or whether it's about the water shutdown.
Exactly. And it applies in the opposite case as well. If not opposite, but if you're talking about one subject,
Right.
don't create another email regarding that subject. If you have like 30 emails, 30 conversations about a water shutoff, and then you start on another email thread saying, oh, by the way, the water shutdown is blah, blah, blah. Now you have two different email threads on the same subject,
Right.
or even three.
Right.
And when you're trying to find an email from a specific email from someone, or I don't know, a month ago,
Right.
regarding that subject, you're gonna have a hard time finding that email.
Right. So the reason why you shouldn't do that is that it's
Keeping the
gonna
streamline of the communication.
right. It's just gonna make hunting that communication later on easier.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, I think it can easily lead to mistakes when you have so many different threads and you have so many different people and discussions. It's so easy for you to make a mistake and send it to the wrong person
Yeah.
or forward something. So you just got to be careful. That's all part of trying to be professional.
Yeah. Then I think we kind of stumbled upon this. If you're sending a photo, PDF document, say there is an attachment or there are attachments.
Right.
Mention it in your
Right.
email.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's also being clear. You're letting them know that, look out. There's something on this that you're not seeing right away,
Yeah.
but I'm sending it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, this is another tip on resumes
Right.
or any kind of formal document. Use PDF than document file.
Oh, yes. Good point. Oh, yeah. Change it to PDF.
Yeah.
If you don't know what the difference is, email me. Email us and we'll explain it to you. But PDF is generally I mean, you can edit it now, but
But more formal way and more of a viewing.
it's a polished way, in a
Yeah.
viewing way. I agree with you. It's more viewing because a Word doc can get all messed up
Oh yeah.
depending on the the
If you are,
app that you use to open it up.
exactly, the format's different.
Yeah, all of a sudden your name's cut in half, and it's better if you just create a PDF that is responsive across all devices. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, the only bad thing is that you may not be, unless you have a special software, you're not able to edit that. Someone
Yeah.
else is able to, which is a good thing actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are different ways to create a PDF, but
Right.
if you're using Word, Microsoft Word, there's save as PDF.
Right, right. Oh, that's a
And
good point. Yeah, you
yeah.
have different ways to create PDFs now.
Yeah, and you can also do, when you're using Google Chrome, you can press print, and then I think there is also print as PDF.
Yep, I think there is too.
So there are different ways to do it, but it looks, when we get resumes, right? When we see resumes in the PDF forms, look much neater. Like,
Yeah, it looks cleaner.
yeah, polished. So, yeah, that's another tip.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
we should do a separate episode on how to
To create PDFs.
resumes.
Oh, how to create resumes. I was getting into PDFs. Okay.
Yeah.
Resumes? Okay.
Yeah, so I mean that's I think we spent a lot of time talking about emails. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this stuff, but it's just a reminder for those of you that know all this stuff already. It's just a reminder.
You know what? I think that we all feel it. Like we've all gone through a moment. I think some of us who are reading through this, like myself, we all went through moments where we cringe when we read an email, or when we feel that an email is wrong. Like somehow something's wrong in the email, but we're never able to really pinpoint it.
Yeah.
Now you're able to pinpoint why, and then
Yeah.
you don't. The next step is just don't do it in
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah, hopefully this was really helpful. And I remember when I first wanted to write an email, I was kind of scared. I didn't know how to write it. I seriously didn't know.
I think the first time too that I wrote an email, it was hard to understand what was the right proper way.
Yeah, and I was completely clueless.
Yeah.
I was completely clueless. But as you write more and more emails, it's gonna get easy. And this format, there's a format.
Right.
And if you just follow these simple rules, it's just a matter of time that you look professional.
Yeah, I think that, but definitely get started on it, because the world is not moving back to what it was before emails.
Mhm.
It's moving more and more into digital communication, and email is
Definitely.
a basic now. So let's just say I think even like children who are just starting to go to school may eventually be required to write emails.
Oh yeah, I think
But-
they all use laptops these days.
Yeah. So that means that
It's
the next
inevitable.
generation,
Yeah.
and the next generation who is coming into this industry
Yeah.
is going to be a different crop of supers and porters, and and these guys are going to be much more technology savvy. They're going to be much more. It's going to appear they're going to seem to be much more communication savvy, because you have spell check and grammar check.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to continue to up that game. You may know more than you may know your stuff when it comes to repairs and all the tricks and techniques to fixing things, but if you're not able to communicate the stuff that you do properly, or you're able to you're frustrating the person who's reading your emails, that could take away from your effectiveness.
Yeah, exactly. And it's easy. It's not that hard. It's not difficult.
Well, as long as you practice.
Yeah.
So keep writing emails.
Yeah, keep writing.
Keep
And-
sending us emails.
Yeah, also for people who are at an age, or who are in a generation of not really writing emails, right?
Right.
It's not, even if you're not used to writing emails, you didn't grow up with it,
Right.
this is a must.
You got to learn it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so frustrating when I can only reach the super by phone.
Yeah, yeah. That's becoming a point of frustration with a lot of younger people
Yeah.
as they try to reach the super by all the, I guess, phone, right?
Yeah, phone.
Yeah,
It's easy to miss,
right.
and yeah, just try to learn. It's not difficult.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll try to help you with whatever situation you have. And we do have a team of really great, I almost said experts, but a team of really great writers, email writers on our team. Some need help, but some are strong,
Yeah.
and we all learn off each other. So if you want to get a second opinion on something
Yeah.
that you've written, send it to us. Yeah.
Yeah, proofreading.
Proofreading, right? Proofreading is having someone read your writing so that
Read your draft.
so that they tell you if you're missing anything or you should explain something clear.
Yeah.
You always need that second eye, by the way.
Kind of like your English teacher, writing teacher.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But with no grades. No grades.
Oh, no tests.
Yeah.
No tests and no grades.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for helping us with emails today.
My pleasure.
Okay, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.